Hello everyone, I'm Squallcasting. This is StarCraft 2, and hopefully this cast will not be as disastrous as the last one, which featured me just being really bad at casting because I hadn't cast anything for a week and I was very out of practice, and also featured my computer being really buggy and there being all kinds of graphical errors, which probably made the video look horrible, but hopefully my settings have been configured so that they're not as bad. So yeah, now in this game we do have TSL Polt. He is a Korean player, part of Team TSL, pretty darn good player. I think I've featured him in the past. And over here we've got FXOASD. He just, the game asks him, what do you want your username to be? He just said screw and just hit the first three keyboards. The first three keys that came to mind. He doesn't play with three keyboards, although that would be rather awesome. But, yeah, so I don't know a lot about him. I checked out his Wikipedia page really fast, and he has been in Code A and Code S, so definitely not a bad player, but clearly hasn't had as much exposure as someone like Polt. And I am not familiar with this map. The load screen did have the GSL stuff on it, so I assume it's a GSL map, a more new-ish one, I would guess. So we'll just take a quick look at it. So you go into the natural here. There is no ramp, so it's a bit like that other map whose name totally eludes me. And then you've got a wide ramp here, so definitely, I guess, a bit more forward-gate prone for Protoss. As anytime there isn't a ramp into the main, it's a lot better. And then I guess maybe like this would be the third, or potentially this, depending on where you're expanding. Actually, yeah, this one would be the third because you've got this, oh no, wait, there's a bridge there. Not too sure. There's another bridge here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the natural third is supposed to be. Like, this is a little bit further, but this is more susceptible to attacks from this bridge. So I guess it comes down to whether you want to expand more towards or away from your opponent. Zergs, I would guess, would probably take this one. Terrans might take this one, make it a planetary, since it's going to be vulnerable to attacks. You got the two Xel'Naga towers. Can give a lot of info. So, yeah, interesting map. Nice to see the ice tool set as well. Kind of cool. So Polt is not going for a 1-rack gasless Epi, has instead opted to get a reactor, going to go into Reactor Marines? Oh, this is kind of weird. I thought maybe like a factory, but you don't see Hellions versus Terran that terribly often. I'm very curious where he's going with this. Maybe he'll put down a tech lab here, then research stim and go for some sort of stim timing? I'm not too sure. And he's not saving up anything, so yeah, Tech Lab going down. And he's not saving up for an expansion or anything like that. ASD is also not saving up for expansion. He's getting a Cyber Core, got his first Stalker out, and the Zealot is moving across the map, so it's going to be that standard Zealot Stalker poke. And Polt moves his Marine down, going to start microing back to soften up that Zealot a bit. And he does have 3 Marines now, and I'm pretty sure he's good enough at StarCraft Master. Take down that Zealot with absolutely no issues, and yeah, that Zealot not really accomplishing too much. Could just scout in on the front. Will see that reactor. Does he see? He does not see the second barracks with the tech lab, so he doesn't know about that. Stalker's going to poke up, but there are definitely enough Marines there to repel it. Going to have to scoot on away, let the shields recharge before it tries poking again. Second Stalker is on its way, so once he has 2, he might be able to do some tag team action. Should be able to whittle away these Marines to great effect. However, there is a Marauder out now, and yeah, Stim is on the way, so interesting one base play from Polt. Quite aggressive. Usually I see him being a little bit more macro-oriented. And I guess that's what he wants to go for. Moving the SCV out could be just to pull the Stalkers away, or, well, trying to get scouting info, I assume. And, ooh, doing a nice deke, throwing the Stalker off. It's not going to catch that SCV anytime soon. And he will probably move that out a little bit later just to check around. And yeah, Polt just gearing up for a timing push, I guess. Kind of odd. ASD is getting his expansion, and is getting a Robo and adding on 2 more gateways. But yeah, he's definitely going to need some sentries in the near future if he wants to be able to hold off like this much stuff coming from Polt. Already has a pretty beefy army. Stim is pretty close to finishing. 1 more in-game minute. So approximately 40 seconds, I guess, of real time. And is getting an Immortal out. Does he have an Observer? No, he does not. So could be he has a sense that this is coming, wants to get those combat units. single sentry out, but wow, ASD has like nothing. 2 Stalkers and a sentry versus 4 Marauders and 13 Marines. What are you going to do against that? And he's got to be in panic mode a little bit here. Hopefully going to be chrono boosting his gateways a bit. These 2 gateways are finishing up now, so he will have some additional production. But he's going to need... He only has 1 force field. Looking pretty rough for him. Polt moving the Marine up. Stim literally just finishes. And here we go. And wow, Polt just gets up the ramp completely uncontested. ASD forced to fall back. He knows he can't take that. Definitely going to lose the Nexus. An absolutely terrible position for him. Second Immortal is almost out. That will increase his army's power by quite a lot. And has the Probe to incorporate with the army to fight because he's going to need the help. Here we go. Second Immortal out. He's pushing out 2 sentries now. So he has a handful of force fields. Good force fields. Pinning the army in place. And they are forced to micro forward into the Zealots. And wow, ASD dealing with this quite well. And Polt just getting cleaned up. Did lose quite a few sentries. But I don't think Polt did nearly as much damage as he wanted. And workers killed. 9 probes killed. But ASD did keep that Nexus up. And I feel that's definitely a win for him. The Marine's going to stim in here. Try to be a little bit annoying. Maybe take out 1 or 2 probes. Before they do finally die to those Stalkers. And there they go. And ASD is just doing a brilliant job holding that off. I was certain he was going to lose that Nexus. But he pushed out at just the right time. Pulled just enough probes to buffer damage. And then the Immortals just... Look at that. 7-kill Immortal. That Immortal is the hero of today. If he had gotten an Observer first, he would definitely be dead. But clearly he had the sense that this was coming, so got the 2 Immortals and lived and secured for himself a nice economic lead. Take a look at the worker, or not a nice economic lead, an equal lead, an equal place. That said, though, he's going to pull ahead just because he has 2 Nexuses now, so he will be able to produce out those probes a lot faster than Polt can make SCVs, and he's pretty darn saturated here now. And the only thing I'll really let him equalize for any length of time will be those mules. And Observer does scoot in now, sees that Polt has indeed not expanded. Here we go, all in, pulling all of his SCVs. Medevacs are out. Polt once again has a pretty beefy army, and ASD is going to need some incredible control to hold this off. Does have 5 sentries now, so we'll be able to do some good force fields, but he just doesn't have a lot of stuff. And this is so much coming from Polt. Factory floating forward to soak up fire and distract. So that way, yes. ASD isn't attacking Polt's units. There we go. SCVs are arriving. Polt's going to go for this any second now. And he just wants to end the game. He's not interested in expanding and being behind all game. He's just going to kill his opponent. Polt isn't pushing just yet. He seems a little bit nervous. He's waiting on combat shield or something like that? No. Being very hesitant, and every second he does this, he's getting further and further behind economically, and he lost that factory for, you know, nothing. Here we go, the stim up, charging on forward, 3 Immortals, 1 Immortal, almost gets picked back, but does pull back, picked off, but does pull back, excuse me. Good force fields going down, pitting back so much of Polt's army, and ASD looks to be in a very good position. Supplies are equal, but his army is smaller thanks to, having more probes. Here we go. Another stim up. More force fields being baited. But ASD does have quite a few sentries, but are they all empty? Ooh. Looks like he might have over force fielded just a little bit. He's going to need to produce more sentries ASAP. And here we go. Polt stimming on up. And there's only going to be 1 force field. Okay, a few force fields go down, splitting up the army slightly. Polt picks up, pulls back. And all he's really doing now, picks off a sentry. Excellently done. But all he's really doing is baiting force fields and then hoping he gets enough stuff. Here come the rest of the SCVs. Wow, this is a... Does he have anything mining here? He has an SCV and a mule. So Polt is about as all in as it gets. Here we go, the enormous push up. Does ASD have the force fields? No, he does not. SCVs buffering so much damage. Bio stimming up, dealing so much damage. These medevacs are nearly empty. But wow, ASD is in an incredibly bad position here. Armies are equalizing somewhat. ASD needs to pull probes. He's going to have to pull back. And no, just GG's. Wow. So yeah, Polt is going with the incredibly aggressive play. Doesn't want to play for the long term. Just wants to win. And he does it in style. Classic Korean style. It's like, well, I want to win now. I'll just pull all my SCVs and attack. Why not? And looks like this was from the Zotac cusp, I would guess. So thanks to them for providing the replays. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video.